I'm not letting him do anything. I'm showing them. That's the funny thing. Yeah, they don't understand.
So things are getting a little intense over here. I don't know. At this point, I don't know who's against who. I was attacked. The defenders are attacking, being attacked. Press in general is being attacked. And I know people are going to say it's not true. It's fucking true. It happened to me. They did it to me. So.
Never said about such a racist person. I went to the bathroom. Right. Hey, get fucking JKS back to fucking Lakeside. Oh, they live in Alpine. Alpine.
So they're still going at it. They're still. So remember, that one girl said something about my dick. I think she wanted my dick. She's not gonna have it. She's not gonna have my dick. Kathleen.
This is our family. Let's know who they are.
Art. Some of us want to investigate the world that we live in and see it for what it is and educate the rest of us. And available subjects in class. But it could be. We can teach our kids about credit. They're up there talking about education in the black community. What about education, period?
Woo!
Listen to what I'm talking to y'all. A lot of people, even in this march, are being informed by the politicians and the police that don't really want to get rid of the police. They're going to say weird things like, we're not fighting the cops. Yes, the hell we are.
Yeah.
I got shot in the head last week.
Right.
I'm fighting the cops. I don't know about y'all. This is real.
Yeah.
They're fighting us.
Right.
They're fighting us every day. They were fighting us before we started marching.
So we fight them back.
Ask Juanice Hayes if he's fighting the cops.
Yeah.
Who's the boy in Gresham? Who's the boy in Gresham that got lynched a couple of years ago? We don't even remember their names. There's so many. They have been at war with us. We're not starting a fight. We're trying to end the fight. And we need all of your help.
Yeah.
Most people can't do this alone, especially not in Portland, Oregon. We can't do this alone. We need help from everyone. Every single one of you can make a difference. You can talk to your friends. You can think in commonsensical terms. You can stop wondering what happens if. We can stop being afraid of police, and we can stop being afraid of each other. I want you to think about that. Before this was happening, I was just working from home and gardening. When I built my first garden in St. John's, everyone told me that nothing would grow in that clay. They said nothing will grow in this clay. You need to buy the dirt from somewhere else. You need to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy dirt and bring it back here to the hood. And you know what I did? I dug a hole and I tilled the clay. I tilled the clay. And every day I watered it and I tilled the clay. And then I dug some trenches and I put some wood sticks around it so that the clay that I tilled would stay the clay I tilled. And then I tilled the clay. And then after about a week of tilling the clay, I planted some seeds. And then I watered them every day. I watered them seeds every day. And in a few weeks, I had fruits. I had fruits that I could give to people that walk by my house every day asking for change. The same people that walk by my house every day asking for dollars, I gave them fruits and vegetables. And a few weeks after that, I had friends. I have friends who everyone said don't talk to them, they're homeless. Don't talk to them, they don't have anything. Don't talk to them, they don't have nothing to offer you. But I had something to offer them.
Now, as we pass by this police station, and we see these officers, realize which officers they put out. Realize that they sit up here and try to put a symbol out to pacify us. To make it seem like, oh no, we have black officers in this community. We don't got black officers in this community like that. We don't have people from this community representing us. So, as I see these officers and I see these faces.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's all black officers.
All black. You're right.
It's probably every black cop they got.
So as we continue on this march, let's understand the importance of what's next. Let's understand the importance of what we need to do on the next level. Let's understand the importance of reallocation. Right? We want to build. We've learned that we do not need schoolhouses to learn. We've learned that we do not need a lot of the things that they say that we need to prosper. Let's continue. If we're going to be allies, if we're going to work together, we have to. We have to continue. So what's next? Continue to grow. Let's continue to lead. Let's continue to learn. I love each and every one of you for being out here. And Black Lives Matter!
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 Black Lives
We
Matter!
need to get into a space of community policing. We need to get into a space of restorative justice. We need to get to a space, instead of sending officers when somebody's having a mental crisis, send a therapist.
Woo!
Instead of sending someone in there to elevate a hostile situation or a domestic situation, send somebody who has a degree in conflict resolution. Let's focus on demilitarizing the police. Let's focus on community policing. Because if we cannot hold each other accountable, we cannot hold each other responsible, what kind of community do we have? We have none. We all have an accountability. We all have a responsibility. We all have a purpose in this movement. In the movement, in the civil rights movement, the babysitter was just as important as the one who spoke. The bus driver was just as important as the one who licked the envelopes. All of us are playing a role. All of us are a piece on this card to get the justice and the equity that we need. So Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Your life don't matter if you get all the stuff you get it. If you don't
Ooh. Holy fuck, that fucking mission.
Hold on.
My kids stink.
He took this right out of the window. They were holding it out the window. Got it right out of them.
Pussies! Take your side! Chicago! We stand with Chicago! No fascist policing! No fascist policing! Trump pens out now! 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 Right now! Right now! Right now! Right now! Out now! Right now! Right fucking 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 now!
Who was told they were depressed because they were just quiet, they were withdrawn, and didn't play well with others? Who just needed a garden to garden in? Who just needed a sandbox to build sandcastles for a while? Who just wasn't ready to sit down and learn the alphabet at 5? You know what happens? And we all matter. All of our lives matter. All of them. That's why we have to say Black Lives Matter. These schools ain't made for us. These schools ain't made for some of y'all. But when Black Lives Matter, and when y'all realize that black people have the power and the agency to raise ourselves and to police ourselves, then you'll realize that you have the agency you have the power to police yourself, to help each other. One of the most amazing things in this movement is I've had white people asking me, how can I help? I did not realize until a month ago that white people do this with each other all the time. I was like, why are they being so nice? It's weird. I did not realize this was a normal thing. Like, people exchange seeds all the time. I thought I was never in that club. I had to buy mine from Tony's. Since this has gone down, people have been dropping off seeds in my house and asking me if I have cucumber. And I do. Holler. You know? This is different to me. I like this life. I see why y'all don't want to change it. The police, man, yes, I have way too many zucchini already, I'm not gonna lie to you. But listen. Hey, check my Instagram. But check it. I need you guys to understand that this is beautiful to us. Having white people say, where do you need me to be, and show up? I'm 39 and I've never experienced this. We don't have it in the black community because we didn't know it existed either. So we don't do it with each other. So we started, huh, Sam? Yes, sir. We started. How can we help each other? Shit, this is a thing. This is really a revolution, you guys, because a movement is like something that everyone wants to do all of a sudden, right? Yeah, let's do this. A revolution is when hearts and minds change. Hearts and minds are changing. I had thousands of white people coming out to get shot at for weeks, risking their lives, getting hurt, putting their bodies in front of mine, taking flashbangs to the face. When I saw that energy,
they said that they could not do, they have done. Everything they said they could not do, they have done. They have allocated $5.2 trillion to whatever the hell they wanted it to go to. Money is just a computer, right? They showed that we can have free health care. They showed that we can have free education. They showed that we can have loan forgiveness. People don't have to if they get put in a situation. They showed that you don't got to pay your rent. You don't got to go to work. They have a lot of things, right? And we're not going to go to that level, but they have a lot of things that they can do that they said they couldn't do. And lastly, we just have to look into accountability, responsibility, and oneself. We are in the middle of not only those three things that I've spoke on, but we are in the middle of our young people acting a way that we have not seen in a long time. And so as we sit here and we scream Black Lives Matter, we have to understand that Black lives have to matter to us as well. We have to understand that Black lives really matter. We cannot, as a black man, we have it coming from so many different places. As black women, we have it coming from so many different places. And we have to create a system. We have to create an environment based on love, accountability, and responsibility to get where we need to get. So I am very proud of everyone for stepping out here today. But again, in 2 weeks, when it's not as bad, we still need to push. In a month when it's not as bad, we still need to push. In a year when it's not as bad, we still need to push. Because if we stay the course, we stay the way we're going to go, we're going to get where we need to be. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for letting me talk to you. And as we go, my brothers and sisters, I want to hear it loud, man. Black power! Black power! Real shit.
All right, you guys can go home now. He said everything. I told you, that's my guy right there.
Let me just tell you guys this. This feels way, way, way more better than being shot with rubber bullets, tear gassed, grenades, not the real grenades, but the flash grenades. Trust me, I've experienced all of the above. I've been downtown every night since the beginning. Since the beginning. Well, I wasn't there the night they were looting, so don't put me in that crowd. But I was there the night after that. And I just want to say this feels way better. I'm not choking. I don't have to wear a gas mask. This feels a whole lot better. All right, I'm gonna quit rambling. But thank y'all for coming out. I see the indigenous people here for Black Lives Matter. We love you guys too. Also, a lot of other things get looked over also. We want to get rid of ISIS. ICE, not ISIS. We want to get rid of ISIS too. We want to get rid of ICE. We're not forgetting about our Hispanic community, our brown brothers and sisters. I love you guys too. We haven't forgot about you guys. Coming up next is a young lady. When she came to the meeting, I looked at her, I was like, man, she looked familiar. I swear she did. But, no, not at all. But I know her mom, and I know her dad, and it's weird because I remember when she was a little baby, and when she came in there, I'm like, man, I know her from somewhere. She started talking, I said, okay, now I know where you get it from. So, with no further ado, this lady right here is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You guys give it up for Alasia.
How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling today? I think y'all can get a little louder than that. I said, how y'all feeling today? All right, y'all. So some of you may know me, some of you may have not, but I'm gonna just start telling y'all why I've been out here since day one. Oh, day two. I wasn't with that looting either. I wasn't there. I missed it. But I was on my way to Target at Jansen Beach, and I'm looking around, and they boarding up the Target, and I'm like, well, what's going on? And they're like, they looted downtown. They're scared. They're boarding up the Targets. The black people. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Let me go see what's going on downtown. Unlike some people, I'm not that. But when I got down there, I seen what was going on. And it was a peaceful protest. It was peaceful. There was thousands of us, and it was peaceful. And we out here, and they were demanding stuff. They were consistently out there for about 2 weeks. Y'all remember what happened downtown? Because I've been out there every single day, pretty much. I just started giving myself. People who were out there for every single day realized after about day 40 that they was real tired. But we got more people that continue to show up. And you know why they continue to show up? Because the police shot the boy in the head. They shot him in the head on a night where there was maybe 20 people about we're rioting. 20 people? I don't think so. Then we reinvigorated and everyone wanted to show back up again. And we said that we were going to take control of the narrative, right? Yeah. So we need to do that. We need to put forth the effort to take control of the narrative. It can't just be us. You got to tell somebody, and tell somebody else, and tell somebody else that we are peaceful protests. Yeah. Take control of that. You let them control the media. We don't control the media. We control the narrative, though. They can say what they want to. But if we continue telling them that this is a peaceful protest, one, it's going to make our message a lot stronger. Yeah. But also, I noticed that the protests, at least here in Portland, I started to become about, all comes from bastards. I can't stand hearing that shit. Because, yes, there might be some bad cops the same way that they think there's some bad protesters out there, right? They can understand that. But we aren't here to just fight the cops. I need y'all to understand that. I need my white brothers and sisters to understand that. This fight is not just against the cops. So if you are out there spreading that narrative, first and foremost, cut it out. First and foremost. Y'all are stealing our narrative. And it is not just about how we are fighting for justice reform. Not all cops are bastards, but justice reform. We are also fighting for education. We are also fighting because our ancestors back in 1965 fought for the right to vote. So we are fighting for that Voting Rights Act of 1965 to be our right. Because they fought for that. They died for that. I didn't see Bull Connor downtown. Did y'all? Do y'all know who Bull Connor is? Educate yourself. No, we're out here fighting for our right to vote. We're out here fighting for education. We're out here fighting for money to go back into our black neighborhoods and not gentrification that has happened. I had a grandmama that lived on Alberta and one that lived on Mississippi. Okay? My grandma who lived on Alberta happened to be a Portland public teacher with a union job, so she could actually afford to stay there. But my grandma who lived on Mississippi got pushed out. We've been living at the SCI for almost 20 years now. Tell me that ain't right. How they just gonna buy out the house that was our family home? It ain't right. To this day, I have a cousin who's fighting to get that house back because she can't stand that we had to move. That's where we grew up, in our neighborhood, before it got gentrified, before people started taking over, before we felt like our voices mattered even less than they already did. Y'all gonna kick us out of our home? Come on now. Yeah, right. But I love the energy. I love that everyone is mad about something. But focus that energy. Focus that energy into what really matters, which is voting. Right. We don't all get out to vote. We are wasting our damn time. All of this is a waste of time. We can complain, we can chant, we can sing songs, we can make our demands, but those demands will not be met if we do not vote the right people in. I want to know, clap if you actually participated in your local election back in May. I don't know how you're going to vote back in because it's part of that voting. How are we going to sit here to make these demands and not show up to the polls? If you can show up to a protest, you can show up to the polls. If you got time to play 2K every day, you have time to get informed about your local government. That's what really matters. None of this is effective if we do not turn out at the polls. And for some of y'all in Oregon, you've already missed it. For Washingtonians, you have a short deadline until it's time for you to be registered to vote. So if you are not registered to vote, you need to get registered to vote. Today. Because all these people out here are not for us if you are not voting. Today. Period. You are not for yourself. Your silence is violence against yourself, black people, if you are not showing up to those polls. If we do not turn out like we turn out at these protests. Because that's what really matters. That's where we're going to see the systematic change that we are demanding. So take the time to get informed about your local government. All the stuff that you can make the time for on your day-to-day basis, you can make the time to learn something new about your local government. Because if you are not informed, you are not aware. And there's a lot of stuff we are not aware of, y'all. There's a lot. Me, myself, when I gave my first speech, maybe 2 months back, the guy who happened to be in the crowd was the chairman of the 49th District of Democratic Policy in Vancouver, where I live now, because we got pushed out. But where I live, and he asked me to join the Board of Executives. That day, I got involved in my local government because I took the time to actually learn about the information, read all the information. Somebody saw me who knew something that he could help me out with, asked me to come join. That's how it works. That's how simple it can be if you just Just take the time. Ask the question. You do not care about this if you do not show up in November. I'm telling y'all that because that's what matters. That's how we see the change. There's someone in your neighborhood that you don't like. There's a cop that continuously trolling your neighborhood. There are ways for you to figure out who that cop is. There are ways for you to start getting informed and let your voice be heard so that you can get suggestions as to what you think should be done in your neighborhood. There are ways for you to run to be a precinct community officer in your neighborhood, but you're not aware because you do not ask the right questions. So we need to start making ourselves more aware. You don't ask the right questions. Not wasting our time. This is just one day. This is just up to you because we're supposed to be on lockdown. No. And since we are supposed to be on lockdown, if you are sitting in the house every day and you are unemployed, there is absolutely no excuse. And with that being said, I have voter registration tables. So if you're not registered to vote, feel free. There's going to be one at Geneva as we're marching. There's also going to be one at Peninsula to get registered to vote. Because that's what we really out here. We got to be able to vote in these senators to show up, these House representatives to show up. If we are not all informed, if we are not all getting informed every single day, you can take 20 minutes out of your day to learn something new about your local government, to learn something new about a policy that William Barr is trying to pass. Because he didn't care about your voting rights. He does not care about your constitutional rights, period. Just get informed about what's going on. Trump's coming after weed if y'all care about that. But you wouldn't know if you don't take the time to figure it out. People who want to be with the things that we care about here in Portland, he's trying to come for the weed, y'all. Like, come on. But if you wouldn't know that if you don't look it up. There's so many things that are being ripped from right underneath us, that are being taken away from us. If you think you ain't got nothing now, you don't even know what they're trying to take from you that you are not aware of. And one thing that they have not taken and that they cannot do is suppress your voice if you are registered to vote. Because they do that in other places. This is Oregon. We have vote by mail. There's no excuse. And those other places in the South where they're trying to shut down all the voting stations so that everybody got to go vote at the same place so that everybody can start fighting and not want to vote. Trump has invested over $20 million into stopping this election. You better find out. You better find out how he is trying to come for your rights more than just the ones that you are aware of. But if you don't take the time to get informed, if you spend all day doing your makeup and playing video games and whatnot, you're wasting your time. I appreciate everyone showing up here because I feel like the people who showed up here are the people who took the time to at least get informed about the movements going on, to at least know what they support, Black lives. If you feel like that's important, and if you believe that that's important, if you say, you say that you about it, but if you really about it, I need the same energy on election day. I need the same energy. We have till November. The last day to get registered to vote here in Oregon is October 13th.
So y'all can do it today.
So mark your calendars because you can do it today. We got barcodes for you to be able to scan. We got the number for you to text if you want to just text the number, get registered to vote. I didn't take the time to write all that down for y'all. But I need y'all to take the time to write some stuff down for yourself that matters to you so that when you get in front of a camera or when you're asked to be on, to do an interview, you know what you're going to really care about. Up to your local city out when these things are, because you can let your voice be heard in these ways, but we aren't aware of these things. So until we all start becoming more aware, this is pointless. So let's bring the focus back to where it really needs to be, why we're all coming together, and so that we can all take the same energy to the polls in November. November is when we're really going to make the change and really show that Black Lives Matter, because we're going to vote in people that are actually going to represent the demands matter. You can't vote in if you don't do the research. Take the time to do your own research. I know it's sad. So go to Washington.gov, go to Oregon.gov, figure out who these people are and who you'd like to vote for, so that way, when they come for us what you're voting for. You know exactly who you're voting for. You know exactly what that measure was about. You know exactly which city council member you like and which one you don't. Because that's how we've gotten to where we are today in Portland. You don't like the way it looks, vote to change that. Because they definitely voted for the changes that have taken place. That's all I'm saying. We can sit here and protest all we want, but if we don't put in the representatives to get our work done, then we are wasting our time, y'all. And that's all I really got to say. But leading off into this, I want to say, as someone who went to King Elementary in kindergarten and has attended Portland public schools, they need more money. Right. We demanded $50 million. They gave. We demanded for the $50 million to be defunded from the police and allocated to other places within our community. They only did 15. That's one. That's not what we demanded because they're trying to play us. Two, Joanne Hardestein, one of our city council members, said that we had the audacity to ask for $50 million to be reallocated. The audacity. We had the audacity. Us black people have the audacity to ask for some money to be put back into our communities, into our schools. Yeah. We built this country. Yeah. We had the audacity, no, since you had the audacity to not fight for our demands. You had the audacity. We deserve anything good that's coming to us. We didn't put in all the work, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears to get here. So yes, we got the audacity to ask for whatever we demand from this country because we have the right to. We're going to keep doing that until we see those changes implemented. That's how we keep this march continuing. That's how we keep this going until we see the actual change. That's when we let up. But until then, we're going to continue that. Because I know for a fact from going to a private school in Portland that I happen to get lucky enough to go to for free. It was ran by Edie Mundane, who's now the leader of the Portland NAACP. I went to that private school for free. And I noticed the difference when I transferred to a public school. I was 2 years ahead of everybody. So you cannot tell me, as a kid who has been through the pipeline, that these schools don't need more money. You cannot tell me, as I found out things in college that I felt like they should have taught me in middle school. Right. Revisionist history that they taught me in elementary school. Things that I only would have known had I not gotten a scholarship to go to school in the first place because I damn sure was too broke to pay for it. My parents were. But it takes the time. I took the time. You can take the time too to get involved in your local government. Now I get to put my little 2 cents in on my little committee, but so can you. Because one thing is, there are white people who are for us, and I appreciate y'all. Because everybody who's on that committee is white. They said, bring your friends. And I thought about it. I said, man, I really don't know much black people that care too much about this. If they're not just working in politics. So I need all of us to start taking the time to do our research, to put in our voice. It can't just be me in the boardrooms. Right. We all need to be in the boardrooms, in the courtrooms, in these places where they're making decisions for us without us. Right. Y'all want to sit there and complain, but we are not in the room. Yeah. I am the only black person in that room. They look anything Black Lives Matters, they look at me. I don't speak for all of us. I don't have the same experience as every single one of you. Yeah. So, as white people, I would just say, if you are a white ally, I encourage you. Yes, I'm glad you guys are down with it, but I encourage you to start putting more information about local government on your signs so that you can spread that information to your brothers and sisters. Because I'm telling you that as someone who knows. I know we don't care about this stuff, but we have to start. It don't sound that fun, but if you can take 20 minutes again, play 2K, to do your makeup, to do the things that you like to do, you can take 20 minutes to find out something more about your local government. Exactly. To find out how you are going to stop the very thing that you don't like yourself. Don't worry about the next person to do it for you. You have to take the time to do it yourself. I never would have thought that I'd be giving my 2 cents had I not stepping up and spoke up in the first place. All right. Matter. With that being said, I'm too much best love, then I'm gonna lead us into some chants. Because we're gonna get this popping the right way, and it ain't just about how all cops are bastards. It's about so much more. So we're gonna start taking that narrative back. First of all, this whole march, I don't want to hear it. We are not just here for that. We are here for education. We are here for justice reform. We are here because our lives matter, not just because we are fighting with them too. Okay? Okay?
You can't walk outside.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. You guys got to be there? I will. All right. We'll be there.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
But it doesn't matter because our mayor gladly protects his white citizens, and he's been said on tape multiple times that he only cares about the 97%. If that's not a problem, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. And I'm asking as a black LGBT woman who is struggling in Coos Bay for help. We need help out there. And I see my little groups over here with the green. You guys have been amazing. Holding it down in the little towns. The little towns are struggling, guys. And all of this started because I am black and I am vocal. And I am tired. And I am tired. That's why all of this has happened. Because I am tired of getting treated the way that I am, like I'm not human. I'm a mental health worker. I saved a lot of kids in Coos Bay every single day from committing suicide. But at the end of the day, no matter what, no matter where I go, I'm always going to be a nigger to that town. Every single day. It doesn't matter how much I do for that town. I was a cheer coach, got fired from that because I was out protesting. This is what happens in small towns, which a lot of people in big towns don't know about because they don't see us, they don't hear us. We're here, and we need help. Because I give myself another 2 weeks before one of those death threats become real. Just this morning, which almost prevented me from coming, they put a cash reward on my head. Cash reward on my head. For being black, that's the reason. For being black. And being tired of the way Coos Bay does things. How they're not pushing any policy, how they're not acknowledging us. Right now we have a 14-year-old black girl who had a mental health crisis, and instead of sending a mental health crisis counselor, they sent the police and locked her up for 11 years. Her name is Soraya Reese. But the white girl who did the same exact crime 2 months before that, and then 2 months later fed a baby a vape, saw no charges. Or the one that murdered her mom. This is Soraya's mom right here, everyone. We travel as a group because she isn't just as clear as I am. Her daughter is sitting in jail for 11 years over a mental health crisis. She, once again, did not hurt anybody. She hurt nobody. And the two white people that hurt and murdered people, they're in a psych hospital. They're in a psych hospital. It's ridiculous, you guys. We need help. We do. Keep writing them. They won't write you back. We've already sent, what, 2,500 emails? It's coming. Keep writing the city. Keep writing the police department because they will not take these threats serious. They don't care. They told us that we need to respect them. And it's getting way out of hand. So if you would like to help Coos Bay, feel free to follow Justice Soraya.
Oops.
There's also the only known documented lynching that happened in Coos Bay, Oregon, that Coos Bay likes to pretend never happened. His name was Alonzo Tucker. If you want to find information on that, which we're still fighting for every day because the city denies that it even happened there, it's Alonzo Tucker Project. Next week we're making noise, whether there's counter protesters or not, whether they want to continue.
It was zoomed in so much I can only see your mouth and all the crumbs
Go
on
ahead,
there.
because my people are ready. Right there.
Right over there. We've got a couple of them. So if you want to come next weekend and make some noise with us and really, really, really stand with your people in the smaller communities, your smaller black communities, please come. It'll be at the Tuesday Boardwalk. You can find us. It's going to be called Can You Hear Me? Yeah, I see a lot of you guys. You guys are all amazing. You guys are all important. You guys all matter to us. But you all have a place in this. You all do. Please keep writing the city. Please keep calling them. Even if they take the phone off the ring, leave a message. It's really important. Oh, it's August 8th. See, this is why I have my group, because they let me remind them. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Can you tell I'm not good in talking in public? It's August 8th. It's August 8th, 12 o'clock at the Tuesday Boardwalk. Please, and I know it's going to sound dramatic, please make sure you do wear bulletproof vests. That's not a joke. Please do. If you have kids, just make sure you have a safe way for them to get out. These are not jokes, guys. These are very real. So we have many, many threats, but we're not going to back down this time. Don't let them tell us to be quiet anymore. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And guess what? Don't forget this. Black Lives Matter.
Hell yeah, Jay. Yeah, I'll be there too. We're all going.
Like I said, we can't forget about our smaller black communities. Coming up next is also a young lady I've been knowing for a long time. I've just been saying that.
Yeah, of course.
I guess I know everybody. I am old. I'm better. I'm not old, I'm better. Okay, so coming up to the stage right now is my girl Juliana. If you guys don't know, this is the young female that was on CNN. What else she was on? She's been known all around the country right now. She's a little famous right now. But I asked her to come up and do what she do best. So you guys give it up for Juliana.
Hey, I'm on the United Nations.
And by the way, she's all the way from Salem, Oregon, and fighting, doing amazing things in Salem.
All right. Hi, guys. Before I start, I do want to say we will be there for you on the 8th. I just started something called Black Joy Oregon, and we are going to go to every city in Oregon. We're going to bring black joy to every single city and support those who are standing by themselves. So we've just started that, and our first event will be co-organized with Jay Brown. We're going to be in Coos Bay, and then on the way home we're going to hit all the little cities all the way down the line. So I was actually at a protest in Dallas, Oregon, which is full of racist folks.
Kill it.
And
I just poured it in my water bottle.
the experience with counter protesters, bro, it broke my heart. Like, I had never seen such ugliness. I had never really encountered people, the way that they use God and patriotism to excuse bigotry was really wild to me. Home, I had all this emotion and all this craziness, and I've been in Portland protesting and getting tear gassed by federal agents, and all of that emotion kind of swelled, and I wrote this song. I'm going to do it a cappella for you guys, so I hope you like it. The pain is real, and my chest feels tight, and though I'm scared, I will stand and fight. You're screaming in my face about skin that I can't change, but my life matters just like you. I just don't look the same. I can't take this black off. Low-key, sometimes I wish I could, so you wouldn't assume I'm bad. You could see that I'm good, but you'd rather make assumptions like you know who I am. All you know is that I'm black, and that's enough to back your stance. You call me godless, you call me terrorist and thug, never understanding if you'd let me speak, I'd show you love. I understand that you're afraid of becoming the other, but that's all we've ever been. And if you're just like me, you'll pick yourself back up, turn the other cheek to get slapped again. But you'll find joy in the struggle. You'll learn how to hustle, turn something out of nothing like we always do. You'll learn about yourself, be empathetic of others when you have no white privilege left. And that's just the truth. I give you facts, you call it fake news. I tell you that's my life. You say, well, where's the proof? I'm not asking for opulence, I'm just asking to live. But your rhetoric is seemingly all you have to give. The pain is real, and my chest feels tight. And though I'm scared, I will stand and fight. I will stand and fight. Why is, one more. I know you thought it was short, didn't you? Why is this a discussion, my black body a debate? Why must I ask permission to live life free from hate? You call it God and patriotism. You see black joy and call the cops. We've marched, we've kneeled, and now we'll burn it down to make it stop. The revolution has been televised, and I know you're new to injustice, but we see this all the time. We can't back down. Fists up, we in the streets. We can't take it anymore, and we won't settle for defeat. So come at me, bro. Bring your hateful words and your tear gas and your feds. I'll take it all to be heard, just to get it through your head. Black lives matter, black lives matter. Say it one more time. Black lives matter, and yours is no more important than mine. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. No, I'm really not. I'll hold the line and hold my head high till the madness stops. Cause black lives matter, black lives matter. Say it one more time. Black lives matter, and yours is no more important than mine. And the pain is real, and my chest feels tight. And though I'm scared, I will stand and fight. You're screaming in my face about skin that I can't change. Well, my life matters just like you. I just don't look the same. I will stand and fight. Oh, I will stand and fight. Thank you, guys.
Y'all give it up for her one more time. Juliana. Coming next to the stage, not only is today his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, should we sing happy birthday to him?
Of course we should.
Huh? All right, we're gonna do that. This is my guy. I've been here I go again. I've been knowing him since he was a little kid. I know his mom and dad also. This young man right here does a lot of community work with our youth. I can't expressly tell him how proud I am. I'm not telling you to your face how proud I am of you, bro. He could have went left, but he went right. And we need young men like this in the community for our youth to look up to. So we're gonna sing happy birthday to him right now. Which way we gonna do it?
You know how.
He said the regular way.
You know how.
Birthday to ya. Happy birthday to. Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy.
All right. Okay, Kiki. just to let y'all know, she is like this in real life. She is not doing this for the cameras. This is her 24/7. 24/7. So give it up to my man, Marte. He said he gonna sit down and talk. I put him on the spot, so he gotta stand up.
Can everybody hear me in the back? Hey, raise your hand if you can hear me in the back. Bet that. Hey, first and foremost, shout out to the, We All Right team. You know what I'm saying? Everybody you see with these shirts on, everybody give a round of applause real quick. That's my team. Excuse me, it's really, shout out to Love, man. He putting this thing on. Got a group of us together. You know what I'm saying? We all been in the streets, downtown, protesting all over Portland, all over Oregon since day one. You know what I'm saying? Like he said. And, he got a group of us together, and here we are. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody coming out here, from my family all the way to people in the community. This means a lot. So I'm going to tell y'all something. Honestly, I just started working in education last school year, right? So I'm coming from, the sports world, where growing up as a young black boy in the hood, you want to play basketball and football, because that's what we see on TV. That's what we see in our households. That's what we see in our families. But it takes for somebody that look like you in other lights. Nobody really, people told me that I could be whatever I want to be, but I never really saw a black judge. I never really saw black lawyers. I never really saw black firefighters. I never really seen, not that many black police officers. And I think as you grow up and as you grow into becoming a man, and a woman, you learn that you can become anything you want. You just really have to just dig deep. And I think one of the main things is that's why I'm working in education, because I want to let all them little black boys and little black girls know that you can be an educator, you can have dreads, you can have tats, you can be cool, you can still be the same person working in education. So I think that's one of the main things that, that I always tell my kids is I'm a living proof of that. I played professional. I didn't play for that long, but it was a reason why God called me to these kids, to these babies. You know what I'm saying? And I fully accept that calling. Oftentimes we try to kind of go against what is for our lives, because we got our own agenda. But what you got to understand is somebody higher you got their own agenda for you. And for me, that's God. I know God had a bigger agenda for me more than just football, because He's seen me in the light that not other people see me in. They see me in the light of football, but to God, He's seen that the kids can do whatever they want to do. They could teach. They can educate, what I'm saying? They can do whatever they want to, but you just got to dig deep, and you got to trust yourself. You got to trust your heart, you know what I mean? And for me, spirituality was the baseline for me, you know what I'm saying? And I thank my mom, who is out here right now, for that, because she did it. Single mom, 3 kids, she did it. You know what I mean? I'm a product of that, and I'm happy for, I'm happy to come from that, because one of the things is, for all my black women out there who doing it by yourself, if you co-parenting, you're doing a great job. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You working hard. You making sure your babies eat. You making sure your babies, got the right, education. You trying to do the best that you can. And sometimes the village came in for me, because mom was working. She was doing her thing, but the village came in for me. They took me underneath their wing, and they showed me, Marte, you could be anything. And here I'm standing here not only as an ex-football player, but I'm standing you as an educator. I'm standing you as a father, as a stepfather, as a fiance, soon-to-be husband. I'm standing you as a 25-year-old black man as of today. They say we don't reach the age of 18 or 21, better yet 25, and today I'm blessed to be able to be 25. So I just want to thank God for that, because He gets all the credit. And one of the things I want to tell my little black boys and little black girls out there, I need y'all. I know we ain't in school right now, but I need y'all to challenge yourself. When you online learning, I need you to challenge yourself. Put yourself on a schedule. I need you to get up in the morning. I need you to be grinding. I need you to be reading. I need you to be trying hard at that math that you might be struggling with. I need you to get up every single morning and give it your 110%, because we got to go harder than other people. I know it's hard, and I understand it's tough, but we got to do it in order for us to be where we got to be. Just like my man Sam said earlier at King, when we get put into these rooms, for example, when I got put into an educational room, guess what I did? I made sure they heard my voice. I made sure them kids, really felt my presence every single day when I walked in that school, at Beaumont Middle School. They felt my presence every single day. And a lot of teachers out there as well. If you're an educator or a teacher, raise your hand. Or if you work in the educational system. working in that educational system, we got to understand that these babies, when they leave school, they got a whole nother life that they live in. Right. So yeah, they might come to school frustrated. Yeah, they might come to school mad because they might be going hungry or because they have an abuse at home. I work with kids like that. I understand what it's like. I had a kid get off the bus early in the morning and he's livid. You know what I'm saying? At 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. So I got to calm him down. I got to talk to him. And I always let him know and let my kids know that just because you may be struggling at home or you have a situation at home doesn't mean that you can't come to school and succeed. Let that be your motivation. Let that be the reason why you go hard. Let that be the reason why you want to get your family out of a situation where you know what I'm saying, you can grow up, you know what I'm saying, and have generational wealth. So to all my kids out there, I need y'all with this online learning coming up, especially my little black kids. Y'all got to understand the test scores is 86% to 3%. And guess what the little black boys and girls fall in? The 3%. So guess what? We got to bring that up. We got to bring that up, and we need help from our parents. I understand you working hard, but make sure you push your kids to do that work, because if we don't do the work, we're going to keep falling behind. And I believe we got to use this momentum to educate our babies, because they the leaders. They the next ones up. And I'm going to be here to lead them in the right direction. You know what I mean? Until I can't do it no more. So I need everybody to raise their fist up real quick, for me real quick. Everybody in the park, just raise your fist up and repeat after me. Accountability. Accountability. Louder. Accountability. Accountability. Responsibility. Responsibility. Unity. Unity. And love. Appreciate y'all.
My guy right there. She want to dance so bad. Yeah, we do. We turn up. All right, coming next to the stage. I can finally say that I haven't been knowing this person for a long time. I think I just met her like 2 years ago. But coming to the stage is Libra. I believe she's the COO of SCI. You guys give her a hand. CFO. Is it C? That's just Libra. Come on, girl. There you go. And also, she's a Philadelphia Eagle fan like myself.
Boo!
Yeah, exactly.
Boo! Eagles!
Yeah.
I cannot get
go
behind
green
that.
and go home.
Black and yellow.
Cowboys?
Back up.
How y'all doing out there?
All right.
He got it right. My name is Libra, and yes, he does not know me since I was a kid. I'd be the first. I'm originally from Harlem, New York. Born and raised. Been in Oregon now for 6 years. I am the COO of Self-Enhancement. I know nothing about finances. Not my specialty. I'm also an elected official in North Clackamas School District. The first black woman on their school board, that would be me. So even though I work in Portland and I fight for black children and families in Portland every single day, I go home and I do the same thing for little brown and black children out in Clackamas, unapologetically. Because here's the deal, y'all. You all are here because you believe. You believe that Black Lives Matter. So I'm preaching to the crowd. But say it one time. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Again, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
That's it. So I'm preaching to the choir here. But let me give you some thought here. Black lives have been currency for this nation for years. Over 400 years, they have used us to pay for all of their privileges. We have been their money, not green, but black money. And today, we have said we've had enough. We are closing down the banks of black people, and we are taking ownership of our currency again. Because you no longer get to use us in the way that you have been. Through our grace and our mercy, we have fed your children. We have raised your children. We have raised this country on our backs and still graciously turn and smile at you and say hello. Yes. Those days are over. They are over. But I want to specifically talk about currency at the tables that you sit at. We all know that money's green, and when you take out money in the store, everybody wants you to purchase something, right? And many times when black people go in the store, they don't know if we have money or not. They see me, I'm a 6'5" woman, over 200 pounds. I won't tell you exactly how much, but I'm over 200. And they immediately get fearful. They don't understand that I have a PhD and that I've studied all the ways of them, because my parents, as a Black Panther group in New York City, was very clear that you have to place black children in positions and gaps in order to fix the system. You must use your own currency to build up wealth. That's why Black Lives Matter, because now we're going to use our own currency. Instead of you using it for us, we're going to use it to you and let you know that we're not the exception to the rule. We are the rule. Yeah. So now let's talk about education, because this is what this is about. I'm here in education and voting. And like I said, I'm on the school board in North Clackamas, and I heard somebody talk about Clackamas High School, and I'm with you. Bougie as hell. But that's okay, we changing that, because we now have the only black named high school in the state, and I'm a part of that, thank you very much. And we will keep adding black names on buildings in Clackamas until they understand that Black Lives Matter. But let me give you a food for thought. If education really matters to you, if you really want to see a difference, let me help you, tell you what you can do right now. Everybody in COVID is afraid of all these differences. They're afraid of the fact that all these kids are online. What they are missing, what they are being distracted from, is every school district is making exceptions to every rule. And all of you are sleeping while these exceptions are being made. You gotta wake up and show up at every board meeting and tell them, I don't like that exception, I want this exception. And make sure you speak up for black lives when you say that. In addition to that, if we're talking about voting, how many of you have a 16-year-old in your circles? They can register right now. And then when they turn 18, we don't got to remind you. They just vote. The last thing I'm going to tell you for food for thought. Your school boards, which you are concerned about education, your school boards have people that run unopposed. 75% of your school board members run unopposed. That is your fault. You all can run for a school board. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you talk like. You don't even have to have a degree. All you have to do is show up and show your currency and show that Black Lives Matter when you sit at that table. Do that today. Last and foremost, I want you to know, you cannot do this alone. And black folks need to tell you what we want. Don't tell us and don't talk for us. Let us tell you what we want. And then once you as a non-black person understand completely what is needed, you need to stand up. Use your resources, use your voice, use your position, use your power, and sit at every table, whether it's your kitchen table, whether it's the table for law, whether it's any table of power, and you stand there and you say loud, Black Lives Matter!
I gotta cool this mic off.
To hear him back.
Woo. Okay. Feel sorry who's coming after her. No, I'm just playing. Everybody got something important to say. Thank you, Libra. Appreciate you.
Wow.
Coming next to the stage is a young man. I reposted a video of him the other day, and it was crazy what he said. Not crazy in a crazy way, but crazy, exciting way. And when he come up here, I want him to say what he said first before he say what he got to say. All right, my man. Y'all give it up for my man, Max Smith.
What's up, y'all? My name is Max Smith, and I'm here to defund the police. I'm gonna try to sit down. I'll see how long I can do this for. I guess I went viral on MSNBC because they asked me a question about what I felt about the protesters' violence. And I told them, and they cut this part out, that you can't do violence to buildings. Violence is when you shoot people in the face. Violence is when you beat people with batons. Violence hurts. Buildings don't feel pain. That doesn't mean we need to burn the building down, but it means that the answer to someone doing graffiti or throwing a firework in a building is not smacking them in the face with a baton or cracking their skull with a rubber bullet. What I said on the TV that made the news was, I said, the first week we were coming out here with t-shirts and hula hoops, and they started gassing us. So we came back with with respirators, and they started shooting us. So we came back with vests on, and they started aiming for the head. So we started wearing helmets, and then they started calling us terrorists. And I asked, who's escalating this? Because it's not us. Like I said earlier, I'm here to defund the police. Some people are here to defend the police. I'm not going to get into that. We are out here saying every day, 65 days, that Black Lives Matter. Through all the drama about, is this still about Black Lives? We were out there the whole time on the ground saying Black Lives Matter. Talking about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. We don't protest for 65 days straight because Black Lives Matter. You cannot protest for something. Does that make sense?
Right.
You have to protest against something.
Damn right.
So if we are protesting because the cops killed Breonna Taylor, and the cops killed Kendra James, and the cops killed Patrick Kimmons, and the cops killed George Floyd, and the former cops killed, and the cops covered up the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, then what are we protesting? We are protesting the police.
Oh, welcome back, baby.
Stop being scared. People don't want to protest the police because the police keep the wheels turning. The police have ends to everything. The police donate to the NAACP. So they don't want the police to go away. They want to distract you. They want to talk about how Black Lives Matter, which is not a distraction, but the most important, the single most important and actionable thing we can do right now for Black lives is to defund the police. 73% of the inmates in jail across this country are Black or Latino. We make up less than 25% of the population. Black people are pulled over 60% of the stops for traffic violations in Portland are of Black people. We are 6% of the population.
Good God.
One of my homies, my big homie, wanted to start a gang outreach program. The cops won't let him do it because he can't hang out with the other bangers. You guys, it's not just about taking their money to fund all these programs that everybody's up here talking about. Big Sam gave a speech earlier about all these programs we could fund. Little mama over here from the school is talking about all the stuff we could fund. All the things that we need. We don't have paper in school. People gotta bring their own supplies, but the cops don't gotta buy their own bullets. We gotta really think about this. The cops spend $1 billion every 4 years. Over $1 billion. I'm rounding down. The budget last year was $255. This year it's $253. But they say they cut it by $15 million. You do the math. They'll tell you anything to defend the police. Because the police keep the rich rich and the middle class, and they don't even care about the poor. And what they do is they get us to fight against the poor. They get us to complain about the crime. But crime is not something the police have ever stopped. Otherwise, the $255 million they spent last year would have stopped all those shootings. But they just show up afterwards, just like everybody else. But they get paid for it. We need to defund the police because we are spending money. The cost of policing in Portland has gone up $100 million in less than 10 years. And the crime rate has not changed at all. In fact, it's gone up. So the police aren't working. We have no problem funding the police, and we have no problem defunding our schools. But when we talk about defunding police, you start hearing a lot of himmer, hummer, yama, yama. The people that get up here and talk, the politicians and everyone else, they're going to talk a lot of himmer, hummer, yama, yama, and talk about how Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, but they're not going to say defund the police. Pay attention to me. I'm telling you this because I'm the only person today that said this out loud. The only one. The only one. What have we been in the streets for 65 days for? To defund the police. We're protesting the police, and they don't want us to defund the police, so they try to sell us other stuff. They try to sell us Juneteenth holidays. They try to sell us renamed streets. They want to paint Black Lives Matter across downtown, where they've been gassing us. Explain this to me. They spent more money gassing us. The feds came in and they bought more tear gas and then said they're going to pass a law they can't use it. You got to pay attention. This is real. And the counterinsurgency of it is real as well. There are people among us that don't want us to do this. Dead ass. There are people among us that work for the police, or that are compromised by the police and therefore are doing what they have to do to make them happy. People will not get up here and talk about defunding the police. And people will definitely not get up here and talk about disbanding the Portland Police Union. These are words that can get you killed. And I'm serious. When the police shot that boy in the back with the AR-15, that child, Quanice Hayes, because he didn't have enough. And he was out in the street with a cap gun. And they shot him in the back when he got off his knees to run because they were shooting with rubber bullets. You got to keep in mind that they shot Breonna Taylor in her house while she was sleeping. And they'd already caught the person the warrant was executed for. They killed George Floyd, a person that worked with him at another job, kneeled on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds because they thought he passed a counterfeit $10 bill that wasn't even counterfeit. And then they blamed it on COVID. And the same people say COVID is fake. Y'all got to pay attention to what's going on out here. I'm not out here to chant. I'm not out here to sing. I'm out here for you guys to understand the moment that we're really in. I want you to stop listening to MSNBC even though I'm on there. I'm dead serious, you guys. If you want a list of people you can follow on Twitter to show you what's going on the ground, I'll send it to you. Black people. They try to tell us this is white people that wanted this. Who wants to defund the police? There's a lot of black people up here saying they want to defund the police. I asked my big homie, when you were 16 and you got in trouble and they took you out your house and put you in a group home and you learned about real crime, what was it you needed before you became a Crip and started banging? He said he needed some counseling. Why wasn't he given counseling? Why did they take him out of his house and put him in a home where he didn't get counseling? Why did they take my little brother at 17 years old over a weed charge, give him a Measure 11, and now he's fucked up for life? He's a genius. But he'll never be the same as he was. My son is 18 years old. He just graduated. There was no applause. He graduated at home, like all your kids. Yeah. Like some of y'all in this crowd. Yeah. We could do way more for our kids besides this nonsense we're going to do Zoom calls. If we had money from the police on one end want to lock our kids up and they want us to pay for it. Yeah. You know that 75% of your property taxes, because a lot of y'all own homes, I own a house, 75% goes to the cops. Every single homeowner on average pays $3,500 a year in property taxes. That's average. I spend $4,000. $3,000 I spend on the cops every year. I'm sick of it. That could go to my schools. That could be community gardens. That could be ending food deserts. That could be getting counseling. That could be going to the programs that we already have that are here.
Yeah.
They want to give us, hold on, I only claps. They want to give us in this new Reimagine initiative that a lot of politicians are going to be talking about tomorrow and the day after. And they want to meet with us and talk about it and have us in little groups together, right? And they're going to offer you this plan that says a lot of stuff we didn't ask for. They want to give us $2.5 million to look at ways that we can reimagine a community safety. We already have ways to reimagine community safety. We just don't fund them. Randall Wyatt has a program called Taking Ownership PDX. He fixes people's houses for free. Black people's houses get fixed for free. Sam has a bunch of programs. They all need funding. They all need funding. Everyone in here knows someone that has a program. My guy Rams has a program for community policing, where we take care of each other. Not even community policing, community defense. So we take care of each other. He's meeting with 3 other people I found that all have these organizations. None of them are funded. We don't need $2.5 million for the Urban League to research. That's not what we need. They just got a $12 million check. They just got it for interrupting our protests and telling people to be peaceful and happy and pretending that's the reason the cops went home. Pay attention to what's going on. Republicans, they want cops. Democrats, they want cops. It's okay to vote for the Democrats. I'll vote for the Democrats because they're better than Republicans. But they don't want the same things as you either. Because they're rich too. And they need the police. All these empty apartments up and down Williams. Who guards them? The police. Where are the homeless people being guarded by other police? The police get it on both sides. And we pay for it. It's our right to ask them to spend less money. We should not have to vote on them doing their jobs properly. That's not why we're in the streets. If we wanted to vote for it, we'd wait for it to be on the ballot. But last I checked, I've never seen take money off the cops on the ballot. So when they tell you we're doing all this to vote, tell them bullshit. We're doing all this to put this on the ballot. It's still America. I'm not saying the mob's gonna rule. But the only way we're heard in this society is if we have money or if we take these streets. They isolated us downtown. We were taking the streets. They isolated us downtown where nobody cared. Then they bombed us and gave us TV coverage. They threw flashbangs at me. They knocked my phone out their hand with the flashbang. I'm a journalist. Before I got arrested and shot in the face, I didn't really care that much. But when we go in there saying defund the police, they shoot you in the face. There's a reason for that the police shoot you in the face. You've seen the article in the Oregonian with the holes in the heads. I'm in one of them pictures. They didn't break my head because I had a helmet that said press, and they shot me from 50 yards away in my face because I've been covering this and telling this story. There is risk to this. When the police are gone, we have to take care of each other. But I'm not scared of my brothers. This man up here with an extended clip in his pistol, I didn't even flinch. That black man cares about me. Like he cares about you and he's here to keep us safe. I don't feel that way around the police. And that's not my fault. I'm not the one escalating shit. It's them. And that's what I came here to say. When they ask you to vote, when they come in and ask you to be on their side and talk with us, I want you to look up the definition of being co-opted. Look it up. I'm not going to recite it. Look up the definition of being co-opted. That's what they want to do. They're going to grab some of us and say, hey, come into a room. Isn't this what you really want? You don't really want to defund the police. Don't you just want oversight? Don't you just want us to fix the oversight program that we've been working on for the past 50 years? Don't you want us to finally do it? Isn't that what you really want? Aren't you tired of getting tear gassed? Aren't you tired of walking every day? come in here, come in this room, let's talk about it. I'll put some of this $2.5 million towards your program, and then we'll call this a day. That's how it happens. That's how we lose our leaders. I don't want to be your leader. I will never do that. Talk to the leaders that want to lead and see if they want the things you want, not if they want to say the things that you want to hear, but if they're willing to put their ass on the line and do what you're asking for. Ted Wheeler came in as a police reform, as a mayor for police reform. Don't forget that. It was only 4 years ago. I sat in his office 4 years ago. Me and Greg and Alan. Where's Alan Bell at? Me, Greg, and Alan over there with the cart in the back. The one that sells you snowballs. We sat in that meeting and we told him, you have the lowest crime you've ever had in Portland. And he said, yes, but we have a crisis. We don't have enough officers. And we said, the crime is the lowest it's ever been. And he said, but it's not going to stay that way. And we said, yes, it will if you don't keep hiring cops. And he said, no. And they ordered more cops. They got 100 more cops, and they got a new gang task force. They renamed the Gun Reduction Safety Team or some nonsense. After the last time we got rid of it with Charlie Hales, they brought it right back with a new name. No one knew what it was. Sounds great. Gun Reduction Plan. This was a gang task force. This is out here profiling black people. I got a file in there, and I ain't never been in a gang in my life. It's important that we understand that they're going to say one thing, and they're going to do another. Most of y'all in this crowd are as old as me or older. Y'all have seen this for decades, that they lie. I'm telling you the truth. I hope that you heard me. Defund the police. Can we get it one time? Defund the police.
Defund the police.
Defund the police.
Defund the police.
So we can invest in our communities. Thank you.
See, that's the shit I be thinking, but I can't say, because I don't know how to say it.
Whoa, buddy.
The way that he
What's
said
up,
it.
man?
That's why I bring people up here to say it the way that it needs to be said. So, with no further ado, I'm going to keep this going. Coming next to the stage is a young lady that, again, I reposted something that she said one night. I'm going to let her come down here and say it. Kinsey, where you at? Come on down here. This young lady is amazing, amazing. So I hit her up. I was like, you have to come and say something. You have to. So you guys give it up for Kinsey.
Woo! Hey y'all, you still with us out there or what?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can hear you, but I'll trust you're out there. My name is Kinsey.
Hi, Kinsey.
On that note that Mac just gave us, let's take a moment to remember why we're here. Black humans are dying in the hands of those who are supposed to protect us. Law enforcement is using brutality to take advantage of the vulnerability of black and brown and marginalized humans. Law and order as a means to silence and kill. I'd like to take another moment to think about what causes police brutality. Well, for me, I'd like to think it is racism and misogyny. Let's think about that for a second. Let's say that to ourselves. Racism and misogyny. As a hyper-emotional, cognitively empathetic black woman, I have experienced so much racism and misogyny. I thought it was interesting when they started to tear gas us. Tear gas ain't nothing when you have been gaslit your whole life. Let's take a moment to talk about gaslighting. It's a manipulative tactic used to maintain power and control. the most vulnerable are easiest to control. So they gaslight us. They try to question our sanity, the validity of our lived experience, to diminish our worth, to diminish our rights. I think it's time for us to start listening to the most vulnerable. We have to be vulnerable to listen to the most vulnerable. I think it's a time for us to get in touch with our most vulnerable parts, the parts that make us a human, so that we can make and create informed platforms for marginalized humans to excel in areas they never knew they were welcome in. It's time for us to remove racism and misogyny amongst us. We must demand for it to be removed from the system, but we also must demand for it to be removed amongst us. Racism and misogyny is practiced amongst us all. We have all contributed to the further perpetuation of racism and misogyny. Understand that. Accept that. My story is interesting and complicated. I was adopted before I was born. My family looks nothing like me. The little town I was from looked nothing like me. I stood in the intersection, uncomfortable and vulnerable, constantly afraid that I was going to be hit by one of the sides. They're honking at me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm standing there in the intersection, confused because everyone around me is confused too, confused because everyone around me is oppressed too and conditioned. This is the first time I've felt that intersection. That experience I had standing in that intersection all my life is valuable. Intersectionality is valuable. It's necessary for this to make sense, for human liberation to actually be. I knew young that I was different. But everyone around me liked to tell me why I was different. They didn't ask me. They told me. They were teaching me these things I had no idea about. It wasn't until I was 12 years old did the first person call me black. And I was like, what? What is black? What do you mean? I'm Kinsey. What do you mean? And they use that to single me out. They use that to box me up and limit me. And so I had to do what I could to assimilate, to adjust myself. So they listened to me. So they would stop seeing the box and telling me that's all that I am. I had to really start tapping into myself really young because I knew I was different. So I decided to tell them and show them why I was different. It wasn't just because of the color of my skin. So I decided to prioritize my authenticity, learning about myself. I learned that it was a lot harder for them to look at me through the lens of their marginalized view when I was choosing to not let it limit me. But I also didn't know what I was doing. I also was desensitizing to the concept of racism because I didn't want it to touch me. I got comfortable. And it wasn't until I started hearing the entire city start to tell me my life matters, my black life matters, the blackness in me matters, that I started to believe it, that I started to understand that's mine too. I'd like to finish off with a poem. Let it resonate, let it make it marinate with you and all these thoughts, all these things that you just heard, all these differences in perspective, let it marinate. let it seep into you. So that when you walk away, you don't have to be told again. Because it's getting tiring, constantly demanding for my rights, for our rights. Black and brown humans should not have to be demanding for their rights when they were never given the tools for their voices to be heard. I keep it moving and keep spitting out dreams, shifting shapes as if I'm splitting the seams. I've got edges within me and endless oceans. Unconditional, unconventional, I'm emotion. A human pit of passion and potential. Bending time and space, I'm existential. Fabricating my reality as if I'm everything, but also I am nobody. Patching the gaps from what I thought I knew. Thought I'd burst from all the pressure, but then I broke through. I keep a constant sense of celebration, learning to lean into my hesitation, knowing the only way to truly level up is to follow through. Never thought I'd see above it all, but then I grew. I'm breaking down what it means to be and what this life really means to me, and what a privilege it's been to have the means to see. I've been living a dream, a life of make-believe. It's a fucking honor to have made it this far. Just a little carbon creature made from the scraps of stars, sipping from a universal reservoir. A walking supernova wrapped in nothing but scars. I'm a creature made of carbon, living in a universe of scars and stars. I'm just doing what I can, but wholehearted. And I'm just getting started. Thank you.
How y'all feeling?
Feeling all right.
Quiet out there on me. Do I need to give everybody a Red Bull out there or something?
Yes.
Huh? Okay. I got you. I'm gonna get it delivered. Okay, so coming to the stage.
Music time.
Yeah, we about to turn it up. Yeah, we're gonna turn it up. This is the last speaker. I don't want nobody to leave. I saved the best for last. So coming to is my partner. This is the main one I wanted to speak. Everybody was great. I loved it. I appreciate everybody, but yeah, he wore shorts. He never wears shorts. All right, so come on, give it up for Royal.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, you in the blue shirt, way back there. You listening? No, you walk. Okay, cool. Hey, you right there with the yellow thing on your shoulder, next to the guy with the blue and the green. What's up, y'all? Hey, how many people came here because Black Lives Matter? Raise your hand. Now, here's the question I, as a black man, ask all white people all the time. What does that mean? What does that mean? Because I went down to the protest asking people, what does that mean, white people? You know what I got? I got a lot of befumbled answers. It means we want to end police brutality. No. See, I see some of y'all got some kids, and that's the only reason I'm not going to cuss, because I really do cuss. But it's two words that if Black Lives Matter to you, and if you don't say these or why you do what you do, you's a lying-ass person. The first word is freedom. Now, what freedom means is the power or right to think, act, or speak without hindrance or restraint. Let me repeat that. The power or the right to speak, think, or act without hindrance or restraint. So that means as black people, we have the right to tell you what we need. We have the right to actualize what we need. And we have the right to do it without you getting in the goddamn way. Now, that sounds kind of harsh. I really don't give a damn. The second word is agency. And that's our ability to act and express ourselves freely. So as we come up here and say what we have to say, we're exercising our agency. And one of the things about black agency that doesn't get articulated like white agency, we don't all have to say the same thing. We don't all have to do the same thing. We are not one democratic voting bloc with one set of ideas. And what we want is those two things. Because once you do those, then you start the process to our lives mattering. Now me, honestly, I don't need a single white person on the planet to tell me my life matters. That came from my mom and my dad and the 3 generations that came here before me on my dad's side and the 2 on my mom's side. And the fact that we have educators, that we have athletes, that we have social workers, that we have doctors in my family proves I don't need no validation from nobody. What my community needs, though, is y'all to get off your ass and really do the right stuff. Because, like, here's the thing. Some people say they want to abolish the police. They want to defund the police. Let's be real. Black people make up 5.8% of this city. So the majority of policing is on white people. Now, this is what I do want. I want a serious investment in defunding inadequate policing. That means policies, procedures, departments that don't provide freedom and agency for black people. I'm not saying BIPOC, I'm not saying Pac, I'm not saying Tupac, black people. When we get a police force that defunds every oppressive institution, when we get a police force that executes the 21st century policing plan, which means you engage community members, which means you get them on policing, because policing is different than law enforcement. When there's a shooting, I need law enforcement. Before we ever get there to what's been spoken, we need community policing. To education in the state of Oregon, there's a black African-American student success plan that sits at Oregon.gov that each of you can look at, that you can see, that you can advocate, that you can use your voice, you can use your privilege, you can use your connections to make things change. Now me, I'm a little different. I added to that list. First thing I added, for all young black boys and girls, we eliminate all suspension based on non-violent behavior issues. A hungry child, a child with parents who have substance abuse issues, a child who's been violated, is at school for sanctuary. And when he expresses his pain, to be pathologized and criminalized, and let's be honest, the majority of the people teaching our young kids are scared-ass white girls. These are young women who are pathologizing our boys and girls. We want to eliminate that. The next thing I want, as it relates to policy, I want every county in the state of Oregon to have their educational money tied to their ability to provide education about black people in Oregon and black people in America. If you can't make an investment in the truth, we will defund inadequate schools. Last, for me, and it really boils down to us getting at the heart of this. If a child uses racist language, if they use the N-word, if they use anything that can be intimidating, I want that to be a 3-day suspension for that child. We will not get white parents to change their attitude till they have to deal with coming to pick up their kids for the behavior they learned at home. Now, when it comes to this protest, one of the best things I've seen about this protest, and I tell people this all the time, black people in the United States have never succeeded in protest at anything that lasted less than 381 days.